Okay, I'm kind of doing this like as a purge of my own emotions right now. I mean, this day is just, this day is weird. So I have like a few things I can say. I mean, now they've got I don't know, it sounded like a helicopter. It was so low. Like, I'm so freaking sick of this. No sun, of course. And now they've said that we were already having some winter storm, and now we're about to have another one that's coming from Alaska or something, and it's like they're warning us about it. Like, oh God, no telling what they're going to bring on us next. It's like, oh, we got to make climate change believable, don't we? Like, we're campaigning here. We're coming after your money. We got to get you to believe what you need to give it to. It's like, yeah, you got so many people who, they believe all this stuff about the Ukraine and, legitimately, they want to help. So, yeah, give it to the cabal. See what they do with it. All the people who gave the money to Australia, where do you think it went? All the money that we've ever given to anything does not go to what we gave it to. It just doesn't. So, but, people have to wake up to the truth, their own pace. So, one thing too is my mom, she was purging out some of her feelings, but she was talking about somebody who is, the mandates are lifted apparently, I guess, but not going to let that get in the way. These things work. You better wear yours. So, yeah, it's still going. They don't need the government to tell them. They've already been convinced. The government, got them convinced what was necessary to survive this. So, this one woman, hers came down for a minute, and she was so upset because another person told her she needed to put it up. You need to cover your whole entire thing with that. You can't have it down low like that. And, she needed to call my mom because she needed that, somebody to give her that, you're a good person. You're a good person. It's okay. They just don't know you. It's like all these people, they don't even realize that they are what is holding us back, because they keep looking outside of themselves for somebody to make them feel good. Every single person who's looking outside of themselves to have somebody else make them feel good is what we're being held up by. Because you're so busy looking outside of yourself, you're not looking inside of yourself. And, there's so much to heal. I mean, we can't do it faster. But, it's a lot of people who are still looking outside of themselves for somebody to make them feel good about themselves. To the point that they get upset if they think somebody thinks bad of them for a second. Why? You don't even know this person. We've been accustomed to judging people that we don't know. I mean, that was the whole thing with, I think, part of the Hollywood mind control stuff. It's part of us to, follow the Pied Piper and to be misled in the programming and indoctrination. But it still creates certain behaviors. And, when they're saying, oh, this person's doing this, like they pick people who aren't behaving, I think, and throw them under the bus so that, they get the gang mentality. Your fans are going to go after you. So I think they do a lot of that on purpose to control people or show their power. But, it got us to trust people that we shouldn't have trusted. Spacey showed that like fucking... Like, if you didn't see that, there were so many, that have come out to show us, like, you don't know this person. You think you know them because you watch them in a show or a movie or something. You don't know their true character. You don't know what they do behind closed doors. And you think they're a good person. In some cases, they are good people you think are bad people. And in some cases, they are really, really, really bad people. And you respect them. Tom Hanks, Meryl Streep, like there's so many of these people who are, if everybody can just go look stuff up for themselves. I'm not going to try and convince anybody of stuff. If you don't see it for yourself, you don't believe it anyways. So it doesn't matter. You have to see something for yourself to believe it. And then a lot of people don't even want to look for anything, you know. They think that's the problem. You shouldn't look. If you wouldn't look, you wouldn't know about this stuff. You could be happy like me. Oh, but, the thing that I'm so bothered by, and it goes with what I'm talking about too, is because there's two docu-series now, and there's no accident by this stuff, you know. This is like that hand of God to me, that's feeding you information to get you to open your awareness to certain things, you know. And, you know, and I'm having a hard time on not judging, you know, and I don't want to judge this. I don't want to come back and, you know, have to see what it takes to experience this. Like, I don't want any part of it. It's very disturbing to me. And so the Tinder swindler is the first one I had seen a few weeks back, and I'm sure I talked about it. But this new one, this vegan, bad vegan, I think it's called. And it is so outrageous. I cannot comprehend this. Like, why don't you have any intuition? Why doesn't anything click on? Like, I mean, I've been screwed over by a lot of people. So I'm no one to judge these other people being screwed over. But, you know, when the person just keeps doing it over and over and over and over, when do you stop? Like, oh my gosh. It is insane. And so many of these things and so much stuff that's going to be going on is extremely outrageous, because it's part of this awakening process. It's part of the hand of God. You know, this is Jesus saving you by showing things so clearly. But, you know, it's to pull you in so you can understand, so you can see. And so many people, you know, they don't want to pull in. They don't want to see. But in this, I really see it coming to the surface, this giver-taker, how out of balance the collective, how out of balance our society, how we treat each other, you know. And it's the same thing of the good guy, bad guy. It's so out of balance, but you see it over and over playing out in all these different aspects of our life. And, you know, you have to see yourself. You have to see the part you play, you know, when you're playing these dysfunctional, toxic relationships and behaviors towards each other. But, you know, it's become so much a part of our lives that people don't think they're doing anything wrong. But it's very self-destructive. It's destructive to our whole entire society. And, you know, and it goes right into that whole victim and perpetrator, you know. It's all this out of balance kind of stuff, because you need to be a good person and you need to give. You need others to think you're a good person. So, you know, you've got to give. Even when you don't want to give, keep on giving. Just give, because, you know, that's what you're supposed to do if you want these people to like you. And then you have the other group of people who just want to take. It's like kind of like antisocial and narcissist, you know. The narcissist needs so much attention, so much positive about them. Like, they're so great. You know, the ego that's out of control. That's why so much of the stuff that we're seeing, these behaviors that are coming to the surface, have to do with ego. Because the egos are out of control right now. And they are, so we have and it's so coming to the surface about people who just don't care about other people. And that's why I said, like, if you're somebody who's going and doing bad things to people, this is a time to wake up. Or if you're just going to stay doing that, you know, you'll just go to another world like this and keep doing it. But anyways, those are things to recognize in your own behaviors, Look at yourself in your relationships. Are you being vulnerable? Are you putting yourself out there? Are you being authentic? Are you just bearing your soul and being your true authentic self? Are you trying to hide yourself and please others? Like, these are all the things that you need to look at so that you can heal them, so that you can go out and be your authentic self. So you're not having these dysfunctional relationships like, I need you to like me. It shouldn't be like that. When you like yourself, you will vibrate at a place that you will bring others to you that will treat you the way you want to be treated. When you're low vibration and you don't care about yourself, you're down there where people are going to treat you bad because it's part of the development of a soul. So you are shown, you're taught, because you need to realize it. You need to wake up to the truth. You need to see the part you play. So it all goes together. And at any point when you can start recognizing the part you play, that's the part that needs to heal, so you can feel good about yourself, so you can see and accept yourself, like accept the fact that we play the good guy and the bad guy, and that has been how we've been learning in this reality. But now, because we are recognizing it's coming to the surface, so we can see it, so we can say, like, this isn't the way we want to behave with each other. We don't want to have these toxic relationships. So it comes to the surface so we can see it. So then we can decide for ourselves, like, this is not what we want from relationships. We want more for ourselves. We want to develop more. And we don't want to have these toxic relationships, because when you start to notice how you're feeling and you're putting yourself out there, you start seeing other people are not, and you start pulling away from those relationships. You don't want anything to do with that. You start elevating yourself. You move yourself up to what you will accept and won't accept. And that's why, they get limited players to play along with these toxic games as we all heal. But it's up to each of us to make that decision for ourselves, for our communities, and, to take that risk, to just put yourself out there, be vulnerable. I'm telling you that it is not as scary as you think. And you feel really so much better to be accepted by a few people for who you are than to try and go out into the world and pretend like you're something different than you are. So, it is a freeing thing to do, is to just show yourself and be vulnerable and not worry about, once you get to that healed place, you won't care if not everybody loves you. You don't have to be everybody's cup of tea. You just want to find your tea party. So anyways, when you watch any of these shows, just look at some of these concepts deeper, of like the things that we're trying to heal, the things that are coming to the surface, the things that we need to examine about relationships and stuff, because it's deeper than just, just keep giving your money to somebody because demons are chasing them. Some of this stuff is so absurd, where it's like, oh my God, how can you believe some of the things these people say? Like, or something where you're playing the game. You're playing the game with them. There's something deeper going on. So, look at it deeper. Look at what we're trying to do as a society. This world is crumbling, it's falling apart, it's blowing itself up. And we are the builders of the new society. We are the creators. And what do we want? That's what we got to constantly be asking ourselves. What do we want? How do we want to have our relationships? How do we want our kids to be raised? How do we want our families to be structured? That is the stuff that we need to be looking at. And all of this stuff coming to surface is to show us what we don't want. That's what I think. So anyways, I wanted to share that. It always puts me in a better mood when I can purge some of that stuff out. It just sits in there like festering and festering. It's like, man, it's rough to see through so much stuff. And then, it feels like very alone. I feel like I live in my own reality. And when I try and talk to people, it's I definitely live in a reality that's different than most people. So I don't know, but I'm telling you, if you look deeper, you can see the truth. And I know what's going on here. I know this is about consciousness waking up. So if everything else I say sounds crazy, I'm telling you, that is what you are here to do right now. It's the changing of the ages, and it is about you healing you, your consciousness, beginning to live in a conscious way of existing, because we've all been living in a subconscious, controlled, autopilot enslavement system. So it's a big change. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.